You're losing attraction every single night, and you don't even realize it. That harmless little "good-night" text you keep sending, it's lowering your value quietly, repeatedly, and almost permanently. Every predictable message trains her to see you as safe, and safe men don't get remembered. They get replaced. If your last text of the day looks like every other man's, she has already mentally categorized you with every other guy in her inbox. And once you're in that category, it's almost impossible to get out. Tonight, I'm going to show you 6 psychological goodnight texts most men are too insecure to send. And if you stay until the end, you'll understand the mechanism that makes a message live in her head while she's falling asleep. Because this isn't about texting, it's about identity. Let's be honest, you're not trying to say goodnight, you're trying to stay on her mind. There's a psychological window right before sleep when her guard drops and her imagination takes over. That moment is powerful. It's quiet. It's emotionally open. Most men waste it with "sleep tight" and "sweet dreams." Then they wake up confused when she responds dry the next day. You don't have a texting problem. You have an identity problem. You're texting like a man hoping to be liked instead of a man expecting to be remembered. Here's the first shift. Instead of "good night," you send "good night. I'll try not to show up in your dreams." But no promises. Notice what just happened. You didn't ask to be in her dreams. You implied the possibility. That implication plants an image, and once an image is planted before sleep, it grows. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding imagination. Imagination drives emotion. Emotion drives memory. Memory drives attachment. Most men communicate for response. You communicate for impact. The second line goes further. Rest well. Don't smile too much tomorrow thinking about me. Weak men panic at this. They worry about sounding cocky. But there's a difference between arrogance and grounded confidence. Arrogance demands validation. Confidence assumes value. This message assumes influence. You're calmly suggesting that you affect her mood. That assumption alone separates you from men who beg for attention. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't crave safe energy. They crave certainty. They crave a man who sounds like he knows exactly who he is. When she reads that line, she feels something. Maybe it's amusement. Maybe it's intrigue. Maybe it's challenge. But it's not neutral. And neutral is the real enemy. Now let me interrupt something before we continue. You don't actually have a texting problem. You have a scarcity mindset. You're afraid if you don't say the perfect thing, she'll lose interest. So you default to predictable. But Stoic discipline isn't about controlling her reaction. It's about controlling your posture. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." If you're obsessing over whether she'll reply, she will feel that insecurity through the screen. Texting amplifies identity. If you're needy, it leaks. If you're grounded, it resonates. That's the real mechanism most men ignore. The third message shifts into imagery. "Good night. I hope your pillow isn't jealous that I'm not there." This works because it's visual. Her mind creates a scene. The jealous pillow, the empty space, the subtle implication. You're not being explicit. You're being imaginative. Most men either go too safe or too aggressive. Both signal weakness. One lacks tension. The other lacks discipline. A composed man understands calibrated boldness. He can flirt without chasing. He can imply without explaining. And he can exit the conversation without lingering for validation. That exit is critical. Scarcity increases perceived value. Men who are always available are rarely missed. The fourth message builds on that frame. "Good night. Let me know if I make a guest appearance in your dreams." Again, you're not asking permission. You're assuming possibility. And then you stop. No follow-up. No checking if she's online. No second message. You plant and withdraw. That withdrawal is what creates anticipation. Anticipation is emotional fuel. When she doesn't know exactly what you'll say next, Curiosity keeps you alive in her thoughts. Most men suffocate attraction by over-communicating. They chase immediate reassurance instead of building delayed desire. Here's the deeper layer you must understand. These lines do not work if your behavior contradicts them. If you double text, if you over-explain, if you react emotionally when she's slow to respond. Words are extensions of identity. You can't fake a grounded state. Women don't respond to scripts. They respond to emotional presence. If your life lacks direction, your messages will feel hollow. But when your life is structured, when you're focused, disciplined, purpose-driven, even a short sentence carries weight. Energy travels through language. The fifth message anchors you to her morning. If you wake up smiling, you'll know who caused it. This one is powerful because it creates a delayed emotional association. When she wakes up and checks her phone, you're tied to her first emotional reaction of the day. Mornings are psychologically significant. They set tone. If she smiles and subconsciously links that feeling to you, you've positioned yourself as positive stimulus. And here's the subtle power. You're taking responsibility for emotional impact without begging for credit. You're stating it calmly. That calm assertion is what signals maturity. Now the sixth message, and this is where most men collapse into neediness if they're not careful. Good night. If you can't sleep, you know where to find me. This works only when delivered from non-attachment. It combines availability with restraint. You're present, but you're not pursuing. You're an option, not a pursuer. That distinction separates disciplined men from reactive ones. You open the door, and then you walk away. Power is quiet. Desperation is loud. If she texts, you respond with composure. If she doesn't, you sleep peacefully. That emotional steadiness is rare in a world addicted to constant validation. Now let's close the loop we opened at the beginning. Why do these lines work when sweet dreams doesn't? Because they create imagery, implication, and emotional movement. They are short, but they carry identity. They suggest confidence without demand. They activate imagination without overexposure. Most men try to be liked. You are learning how to be remembered. And being remembered is what builds attraction over time. But here's the uncomfortable forecast. 5 years from now, you will either be the man who communicates with calm precision, or you will still be sending safe messages hoping for better results. Time compounds behavior. Repeated predictability compounds invisibility. Repeated composure compounds respect. Which version of you is being built right now? In a culture of emotional overreaction and constant overtexting, restraint feels powerful. In a digital world flooded with noise, mystery feels rare. Rare feels valuable. And valuable gets pursued. If this perspective challenges you, good. Growth always feels like friction at first. If you're ready to stop being forgettable and start operating at a higher standard, subscribe to the Stoic Code. Not because it's entertainment, because it's a filter. Average men watch casually. Disciplined men commit. If you're serious about mastering composure, confidence, and psychological control, join the Stoic Code and step into the minority. Now I want a public commitment. In the comments, write, "I refuse to be forgettable." When you declare identity publicly, you strengthen it internally. And if you know a man who keeps sabotaging attraction with neediness and overtexting, send this to him. Strength is shared forward. Weakness is hidden in silence. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." These messages are preparation, but your discipline is the real opportunity. Send with intention. Withdraw with control. Build a presence that lingers beyond the screen. And never again let your final message of the day sound like every other man's.